Jeff, ArizonaHotHomestead, and in today's video I'm going to talk about buying a used car. As some of you know, my car caught on fire, so I'm in market for another vehicle. So I'm looking things up here on Craigslist, but I more important want to show you how can you find out if that used car is a bad one or a good one. So let's get started. So in shopping for a used car, you come across something like this here, a 1999 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I know you guys may not be able to read the details, but I'll read out some of it to you. 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee, full drive. It's got 150,000 miles, which is what my Ford Explorer had. It's only $5,000. Seems like a fair deal. So, but is this vehicle any good? Seems like it is. It looks pretty and all that. Well, let's take a look. There are two things that you can look at. This carcomplaints.com is probably the best one I have found so far, because they also have information from the National Highway Transportation. And the National Highway Transportation has all your recalls information, and that recall information and safety ratings are also on here. So when someone goes to report a problem, they can report a problem either here, which is where you really should start from, because this is where the recalls start. The process basically is I make a report, which I actually did on my Explorer. They look into it and see does it need further investigation or not. If it does, then they further investigate it. Based on their investigation, it either shows up as a complaint or shows up as a recall. Well, you can also go to carcomplaints.com and add a complaint here, separate from National Highway Transportation, and that way they also have the information. But to get the recall information going, you got to go to National Highway Transportation and record it there, which I have done. So I've done it on there, I've also done it here, and I've also notified Ford. So we'll see what happens. Now I'm just waiting. But as we look at this, I want to point out a couple of things. First off, they've got great information like latest news, June 28th. Ford recalls 400,000 transit vans. Drive shaft problems. Well, that's important to know, I guess, if you have a transit van. Worst vehicles, current trends, best vehicles. I want to point out a couple things with the best vehicles. And the best vehicles kind of breaks down some stuff. I want to show you where's Ford at. Ford. Now, mine was a 2008 Ford Explorer. 2009, 2010 is one of the best ones. I had 2008. Now, I want you to keep in mind these two right here. But it gives you a list of a whole bunch of them. Okay. Now, let's go back and let's take a look at the worst vehicles. Remember those two I showed you about the Ford Explorer, 2009 and 10. The number one worst is 2002 Ford Explorer. 2004 Ford Explorer. 2006 Ford Explorer. 2003. Ford Explorers were having some problems in the early 2000s. It seems like with 9 and 10 being the best, they fixed those problems. Okay? But I want to point out a couple others that I thought was interesting. Honda, another Honda, a Nissan, another Honda, a Toyota Camry. I thought Toyotas were good vehicles. 2007 Toyota Camry, though, was not. A couple of Jeeps. 2014 Jeep, 2011 Jeep. So this is kind of interesting to take a look at, and it lists basically about 20 of them or so. A few of them are the worst and the best vehicles. So that may be a good starting point to kind of find out a little bit about that. But let's take a look at this 1999 Grand Cherokee, and let's see how that one actually sits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to search complaints, and then I type in this information here. When I type in that information, I get this. Holy cow, look at all this. Now, these tire marks, the orange and black tire marks, are complaints that were done on carcomplaints.com. I don't know how well you can see this, but this gray one here, that gray mark, that gray bar, actually comes from National Highway Transportation. So you can see here a lot of problems were reported there, but not with car complaints. This one here is brake problems. It's what, 738 brake problems? This one here is engine problems. Now here's what I want to point out about the engine problems. When you click on this, engine stalls or shuts down while driving. That's kind of severe. Now when I click on this, to those 13 complaints, estimated cost of repairs $1,000. Estimated miles, or the average mileage, 145. This is at 155. Now that's average miles. So somewhere at 135, somewhere at 155. That's your average. That tells me that this Jeep is about to have some engine problems, or it just did. So that concerns me, because I don't want to buy a car and have engine problems right away, because according to this, it's going to cost me $1,000 to fix it. So when you're looking at this, these miles make a big difference, because as you're glancing through some of it, like for an example, whereas well, these are engine problems. Oh, here, let's go over here first. Recalls. 10 recalls. I don't know how well that came out, but there's 10 recalls. Now here's recall exterior lighting. Exterior lighting, these are down to 2009. Exterior lighting, 2006. Brakes, 2006. Exterior lighting, 2006. The fuel system, gasoline, fuel pump, all that's 2006. Another fuel deal, 2002. And then these others in 98, 2000, 2001. These are seat belts. They fixed the seat belt ones right away. Now what's nice about this is it gives you other information, such as the consequence of this problem. But it also tells you the action. The dealer will replace the seat belt retractor, and then they also go in and say it's free of charge because it's under the recall. So that's cool. But one thing I want to point out, where's that? The brakes. So on the brakes, talks about this company here, Affinia, is a brake parts company. You contact Affinia to get a free master cylinder, because that was the problem. And when you get that free master cylinder, I'm sure they will tell you how to install it, if you have to go through the dealer, or what the cost might be. So you might have to pay labor, but they're going to give you a free master cylinder at no charge, free of charge. So looking this little stuff up when you have a problem, I think is going to be important. But most all the problems were 2009 and earlier, which tells me this: there's been no recalls since 2009. So all these recalls should have already been fixed on the vehicle. So if I were to buy this vehicle, I would take it to a dealership and I would say, hey, I know that there's 10 recalls on this vehicle. Did all these get fixed? And if not, fix them for me, please. You know? Now, they tried to notify the owners, but the owners in the early years, 2000, when it was first bought, the new owners, they were easy to notify. But in 2009, it's probably been sold maybe 1 or 2 times. It's harder to notify the owners. And it also gives some crash test information. I'm not going to go in there. You can browse around into there. Let's see. We're under complaints now. And then under complaints, let's see. Where's the, well, these are still engine complaints. A lot of different engine complaints, huh? So the brake problems, 938 were reported with National Highway, only 3 through cars complaints. So as I go into it, I'm going to click on this one here, or let's do this with 350 complaints through National Highway Transportation. 6,800 miles. That's the average. Granted, there was 1 death and 4 accidents. That's kind of severe. But 6,800 miles. That tells me that 155,000 miles, this problem has probably been resolved in that Jeep. Or if it hasn't, it got the good cylinder, not the bad one. So that's why I think it's important to really look at the mileage, the average miles. Not so much the number of reports. Because if you come across something that shows a lot of reports like this here, 350, to me that's a lot. But they all happen early in the years. So that probably is resolved. I just need to verify it now. Let's look under this version of the description. It's also hydraulic. See, that says 0 miles, so I don't know what that is. They probably put this under the other one. But still, so either way, this is a good way to tell when the problem happens, and that gives you an idea on if it's probably been fixed or not, and therefore it gives you something to go by. You can check to see, okay, it's probably been fixed, but let's just confirm it. But good information through here. So based on what I'm seeing here, this Jeep, the problem that I'm most concerned with is this engine problem, because it's happening at about 145,000 miles on the average. That's the mileage on the car, 155. So that concerns me that something's going to start to go bad with this engine. So this is not a good deal in my eyes. So I probably won't buy that one. I'll keep looking. So this car complaint may have just saved me a whole bunch of problems. Saved me maybe $1,000 in repairs, huh? So to report a complaint, you go over here to report a problem under the National Highway Transportation website, and when you click on this, it actually is going to take you to this site here. When you click start, I've already got the information added, but you'll need your VIN number and the make, model, and all that stuff. I've already entered it here. Now when you click on next, you're going to have some choices. You can only choose up to 3. So I'm just going to choose this one and this one. No big deal on what you choose. I'm just showing you how to do it. And from here, this box here, you describe exactly what happened. So in your own words, you describe, like mine would say something like, while driving 55 miles an hour, da 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 da. I would explain, detail what happened. And then you could add a photo of the picture. So when I filed this on mine, I added a photo of the burnt car. You put down the date that it happened, and then when you click next, then you enter all your contact information, and then you enter like the miles of the vehicle. Was there a crash? Was there a fire? Was there, a death? And then you enter your personal information, your contact information, and then you submit it. And then, like I said earlier, National Highway will actually research that, open up an investigation, first determine if there needs to be an investigation. If there does need to be an investigation, then they do so. And from that investigation, it either shows up as a complaint or it shows up as a recall. So based on that information. Hopefully, this is giving you guys a little bit of information as to when you're buying a used vehicle, as to where to go for some assistance. You definitely want to go to carcomplaints.com. I found that this is an awesome website. It's cool just to browse around and look at the investigations, the recalls, and all kinds of stuff. And look at your best and the worst and what the current trends are and things like that. And then if you, even funny complaints, they even have a sense of humor. Horrid stories, wow. Lemon laws. So really good information, I think, to look at when you're buying a used vehicle. I think going forward, I'm going to always look at this first when I go to purchase a vehicle and get my information. Then if I have a problem, I will add a complaint, and I will go here and I will add the problem there. So, which is what I did with mine. Well, this is no good. Guess I gotta continue to keep looking, huh, folks? So, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'm able to find a car here pretty soon that at least doesn't show up in the worst category or with all those problems. So, and hopefully it helps you guys out if you're looking for a used vehicle. Hopefully you can get a better deal through this information. So, and of course, if you haven't already, be sure to check out that video of the car fire there. I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner as well as down in the description field. It's actually pretty incredible video there of what happened on the fire. And for those of you who haven't already, be sure to subscribe to check out my latest videos and check out my other videos there. And of course, when you do so, I appreciate you liking the video and sharing the video there with others. What I'm trying to do here is create a homestead from raw land here off grid with very little money. So also don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Arizona Hot Homestead. So I'm glad to have you guys aboard, and hope you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned for more videos, and I guess I'll see you guys later. See you, bye, have fun.